Why, hello there, everybody, and welcome back to the Independence Public Library's Maker Mondays. As always, I am Mr. Alex, and today we are going to make what is probably my favorite science-based craft here at the Independence Public Library. And I like to call him the Bristlebot. Now, this little guy might not look like much. He's like a little arts and crafts bug made out of a toothbrush bristle and a couple of other things like pipe cleaner. But what this little guy has is the power of electricity on his side. He's got a little motor on top as well as a battery that you can use to make him dance, race around, and just spin if you want. And that's what we're going to make today. Let me put this guy aside. You can see the stuff in front of me now. This is what we're going to use to create our own Bristlebot. And all of this stuff is available right now at the Independence Public Library. While supplies last, we're giving away a kit or kits of Bristlebots related materials to each and every kid who wants one. So if you want to make sure you get one, come in as soon as you can to pick one up or give us a call and we can try to reserve it for you, because when they're gone, they're gone. But with that out of the way, let's get started. So you're going to find in your kit toothbrush bristles that we've cut off the handles of and we've sanded down to make them safe so they shouldn't be able to cut you. So as you can see, I've got two here. This is a much more standard, normal looking toothbrush bristle with, mostly even actual bristles and then a flat top. And this one's a bit more modern looking, a bit thinner with different sized bristles, and also this rubber backing here. Now I'm going to let you know that whichever one you get in your kit, it's randomized, so you don't know which one you're going to get. But this one right here, generally this top area where we're going to try taping things is easier to work with. But just because it's easier to work with does not mean the rubber one does not work. And to prove that, the one that I am going to demonstrate for you today, we're going to use the one with the rubber back right here. So that's great. You're also going to get a piece of double-sided tape that you're going to tape on the top, much like I mentioned. You're going to get a motor right here with two wires to connect together to our battery that you're also going to get. And finally, you're going to get some little rubber bands that you can help hold your tape in place if you get one of these rubber-backed bristles. And then also pipe cleaners so that you can create a leg or legs for your Bristlebot. I've already pre-cut mine to what I want, but you can cut yours however you want. Longer, shorter, keep them full length if you really want to try that. Make them long, make them short, make them different. It's up to you, experiment. But with that out of the way, let's get started. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of double-sided tape and I am going to cut off the thinnest little bit right here. And with that right there, I'm going to set that aside for later. Don't worry, we'll get back to what we're going to do with that in a bit. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to do with the actual bristle part of this, take our toothbrush bristle, and we're going to remove one side of the double-sided tape, the sticky part right here, and we're going to try to stick it to the back of our toothbrush. And I can already tell, yep, with this rubber one, it's not sticking as well as I want. It's shifting around a bit. So since that's the case, it's going to need a little help to stay on there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the top off the double-sided tape, making sure to keep the tape on the bristle itself. Then taking one of our handy dandy rubber bands right here, we're going to loop it around to the middle and then double loop it. And just like that, our tape is nice and snug on there, not going anywhere. So now what we're going to do is we're going to figure out what side we want to be the front of our Bristlebot and what side we want to be the back. I think I want I think I want this side to be the back right here. So since that's going to be the back, what I'm going to do, oops. There we go. The tape just wasn't, or the rubber band just wasn't all the way. But since this is the side I want to be the back, I'm going to take my motor and I'm going to very, very carefully just stick that on there. With this little spinny part of the motor right here, just barely hanging off. So it can spin freely. Test it, just kind of touch it a bit, make sure. Yep, it's stuck on there. Okay, perfect. So the next thing we're going to do, take our battery out of the packaging. So we've got the positive side right here on this flat part, and then the negative side right here on this rounded part. So in order for this to work, one of the wires has to go through and touch the positive side, and the other one has to touch the negative side. So in order to do this, this flat part we're going to stick right here, but we're going to make sure that one of our wires is directly underneath it. So take the metal part of the wire, it has to be the metal end, make sure it's stuck to the tape, just one of them, and then you're going to sit the battery right on top of it. There you go. Now this battery is permanently on one side touching one of the wires, and that means we can take the other wire and tap it to the top of the battery and it's spinning. I don't know if you can see it from that far away, but it is spinning. And that's a good way to test that everything's working. Okay, so perfect. We almost have a completed Bristlebot. Now what we need to do is take our pipe cleaners and we're going to put them around the middle area right here, and we're going to bend them down about at the halfway mark. And press in the middle to stick them to give him legs. Just like that. Got our little Bristlebot body, legs, and power source. There's one more little thing that I'm going to add just for fun. Like I said, I took that little piece of double-sided tape and I cut the tiniest bit off at the very beginning. I am going to tape that to the front right here, just like that, and then we're going to remove the other little bit on the front. It's a little difficult when it's this small, but if you're careful, it'll work. And then I'm going to add little googly eyes. One right there. One right there, and he's got himself a face and a personality and everything. And now all you have to do is give him a name. I'm going to name this guy Bobby. Bobby the Bristlebot. And there we go. He's basically done. Now we can set him on the ground, take a little piece of tape, and when we tape this one wire on, he's going to start moving and we can see how well he does. Okay, we've got the Bristlebot right here. We've got this one wire. When we connect it to the top, the motor will start to spin. Just like that. So we're going to take a piece of tape, put it on the wire, connect it to the battery. Now that it's spinning, whoa, whoa, look at him go! Flew a little too close to the sun. Okay, so I went and got him again. Let's talk about him. So the reason why, even though he's got one wire always connected to the battery, right there, that red one, the reason why the motor will only go when the blue one touches the top is because electricity likes to flow in circuits, which basically, big circles. It starts at one place, being the battery. It'll head through the wire to the motor, and then head through the wire to the battery. Now, by not having this wire connected, even though the battery is touching the motor, the electricity doesn't want to flow. It's not making a circuit. It's not connected. It has to connect like a circle. Or you can think about it like a racetrack. Runners or cars will start at one part of the racetrack and they'll run all the way around and they'll be right back where they started. That's how electricity likes to flow. Just like this. Just a cool little science fact for you. So another thing let's play around with is, we can experiment now that we've got him going. Oops, his eyes came off. Let's try taking his legs off in a safe way, I guess. And let's see how well he goes without them. And the answer is not very well. Those legs aren't just for looks, they offer him stability. How about just one leg? Is one leg enough? He goes a little bit, but he's not very stable. So give it an experiment, see what happens. But yeah, there's our Bristlebot for you. So perfect, there we go. And we see that he works. He works and he dances and he spins and he's just awesome. And what you can do is play around with these legs even more to see what kind of differences you can get. Like I said, I gave you full pieces so you can cut longer ones, shorter ones, make them different sizes and see what happens. I've kind of just got these two very similar sizes that I can, do 0, 1, or 2, and that's basically all my experimenting with him. But you've got so much more freedom, so go ahead and try. They're really easy to swap out and see what happens. Well, thank you guys for joining me for this. I hope you really enjoyed him. I'm very happy with him. Like I said, Bristlebots are probably one of my favorite things to do here because they're so easy and fun to make, and you get a cool little toy out of it that you can just play around with at the end. So, like I said, thank you guys, and I will see you next time. Take care, everyone.